What happens when you get a great looking pair of jeans that fits well everywhere except the waist? What is with that gap in back that every once in a while we encounter with a brand new pair of jeans? I mean, we're interested in shape when it comes to our jeans. We do everything we can to make them look just great on us, and that includes taking in this back seam at the waist down through the rear area so that it gaps no more. Even men are increasingly interested in this feature of alterations because they don't want a gap either. This is a men's pair of jeans, by the way. Now let's begin by understanding the nature of jeans seams, especially at the back seam here. This would be referred to as a flat fell seam. We can opt to copy that or not. We might just opt to make a mock flat fell seam, which would be easier. So I'll show both ways. But first, the ripping. We are going to take off the belt loop, loosen the waistband a certain ways on each side of the seam, and then we'll take out both lines of stitching of this seam quite a ways down. With either method that I'm going to show you, the end result will be either perfect or near perfect. That's because we don't have the same sewing equipment as the design houses do, and so we're satisfied with an either perfect or near perfect result. The main idea is to get the perfect fit. When I say near perfect, I just mean the integrity of the stitches might be a little different as far as aesthetically pleasing even stitches. It's hard to go over all this thickness, and so the stitches might not always end up as even and as perfectly as the design house stitching does. But it's going to be sewn on well, and we're going to have that perfect fit that I was talking about. So here we go, ripping. Razor blade to the belt loop. Belt loop off, waistband loosened. We're going to have to make a seam in the waistband right here. So let's draw a straight line straight up from the seam here that exists on up with the chalk. Use a ruler if you like. We're going to be cutting along that line. And it's okay because the belt loop will end up over it again in the end. 2 inches needs to come off this waistband, so we're going to mark an inch on either side of that mid mark, and then draw a steep slant line on either side of the middle seam. There you have it. All this area is coming out. I'm going to cut the waistband now at that middle point right here. There it goes. Take the label off before doing so if you're interested in preserving that, so that you can put it back on later. I myself don't care. Now I'm going to rip this center seam down to the bottom of the chalk line, and I'll be right back with you. Sometimes you get lucky when you're ripping out and you can get the underside stitching to just rip out by pulling on the string, because it's a chain stitch essentially. So if you can get that started, that saves a lot of ripping headache. You have to kind of dig at it to get it started, but once you get it, it just pulls away nicely. Then from the front, it just pulls away. Well, almost. If it doesn't work, you just go back to what does. Good old-fashioned pick ripping. Because I had success after all with just pulling the threads back. I need to eventually tie those now so that they don't keep ripping past the point of no return. So just make a knot any old way. A double knot would be good to keep that from going any further. You don't have to tie these in front, just snip them.